Getting started with our Zendesk plugin is pretty easy. I've created a new workspace, so let's go ahead and add the data source. When I search for Zendesk, you'll see I already have one instance configured. Perhaps in your organization you have multiple teams with their own Zendesk instances. That's absolutely fine, we can connect to all of them. But for this walkthrough, let's go ahead and add a new data source. So the first thing I need to provide is the organization name. This is simply the first part of the URL where you access Zendesk. In my case, for this development environment, it's dev-squared up. The username is your username, the user that you're going to use to connect to Zendesk, and then we need an API token. You can get this from Zendesk admin in the Zendesk API section. I'll go ahead and click API token, optionally give it a description, and I'll copy the token and save it. I then simply paste that token into Squared Up. The other settings here allow me to restrict access to this data source, so I can control which other Squared Up users can add this data source to their workspace, if any. Perhaps I want to keep access to this restricted to just myself, but for this walkthrough, I'll just leave it blank. I'll also install the sample dashboard so we can check those out. When I click test and add, we're just going to validate that the username and the API token work, and then we'll go ahead and set up the data source. We're adding some data streams, the sample dashboard's been installed, and we've indexed this particular Zendesk environment. When we index an environment, we are going to be looking for your Zendesk users, ticket forms, brands, tags, and all of these things then become clickable. You can drill into them. So if I drill into the user record for me, we'll start to see some data relating to me as a Zendesk user. So for example, we can see which group I'm in, which tags I relate to, and we'll get some instant access to data like my active tickets, my on hold tickets, my open tickets. All of these data streams have been filtered to me as an agent. I could take that same approach and drill into a tag, so finding any tickets, in this case with the AWS tag. I could drill into a ticket form or a whole brand and see all of the tickets associated with it. The out-of-box dashboard, this Zendesk ticket report, gives us a quick heads-up view of what's going on in Zendesk. It's showing me the number of new tickets, tickets per day. I'm seeing some ticket detail and then some other ticket summaries at the bottom. This little information icon just lets me know that this out-of-box dashboard is using a sample scope. It's picked the first 5 objects it could find, and in this case we're using brands. There's only one brand in my particular organization, so I'm seeing everything. If you want to use this dashboard, I'd recommend editing each tile and just modifying the scope to something that works for you. So turn off dynamic selection, and in this case, let's leave it as the Swag Store brand. You can change this to suit your team, or you could build a dashboard around a particular tag, a particular ticket form. Let's build a new dashboard. So I'll click the plus button to add a new dashboard and the data option to pick a data tile. I'm going to choose my Zendesk data source, and I'm presented with a few different data streams. I can pull back all tickets based on certain statuses: new, open, pending, on hold, solved. I can pull back comprehensive ticket metrics, either all of them or ticket metrics by created date. And I can pull back active tickets. That's a conglomeration of a few different statuses: open, pending, new. Custom ticket search also allows me to use Zendesk's own search language to find specific tickets using quite complex criteria. I won't cover that in this video. Let's go for ticket metrics by created date. So the next thing I need to do is choose a time frame. This particular data stream returns data for all tickets available in your Zendesk organization. There's no filtering. If I view the data here, you'll see there are lots of tickets being created, and I can just sort and filter. I can group, and I can do things like averages on this. So let's say, for example, I want this tile to stay reactive to my page time frame. That's fine. Maybe I want to lock it to always show me the last 30 days, good for reporting cases, or perhaps maybe the last month or the current month. Let's go ahead and use this to get an average for our agent wait time. Let's use business time rather than the full calendar hours. This has provided me with an output, 205 minutes. That's not particularly friendly, so let's go ahead and just tell the tile that this is minutes. That will allow the tile to format this into hours and minutes. So nice and simple, I've been able to take my ticket metrics and get an average for my agent wait time. Let's just go ahead and add in one more tile. Let's get the current pending tickets. Let's go for that. In this one, I have to choose a scope. So this is where I can choose to build a dashboard for myself. I can choose me as the scope, in which case I will return all the pending tickets that belong to me. There are currently none. That's pretty good. Maybe what I want to do instead, though, is choose a brand. So I want to get all the tickets associated with the Squared Up Swag store that are currently in a pending state. I can add that tile pretty simply as a grid, and that lets me browse them all. Note that each of these rows are linked as well, so if I was to click on this link, it will take me straight to Zendesk where I'll be able to see that particular ticket. We make it really simple to get to the tool where your data comes from. Let's just quickly clone this tile and edit it and make one quick change to this. Let's go ahead and group these by type and then simply add a count. The data that we return works really well here for a donut. We've grouped by incident, question, or problem. Nice and simple. I could equally group this by status. I could group this by the agent that it belongs to. But let's go ahead and leave it. And we'll give this a better name. Active tickets by type. Nice and simple. So being able to access your data is really straightforward. Our data streams are nice and flexible. In all of these cases, we can turn on monitoring as well. So let's go for monitoring on this tile. Now we know the value here was actually 204 minutes. So let's say if it's greater than 200 minutes, I want it to be a warning. This shall stay red because the current value is above 200 minutes. Let's say that we want it to be a warning above 200 and an error only above 300. The monitor will update and this will change to amber. One of the main perks with monitoring in Squared Up is that my tile will have health and it will affect the color of the status label, so it's nice and easy to see. But that health is rolled up to my dashboard and my dashboard's health is rolled up to the workspace. That workspace is visible to other people in your Squared Up organization, so being able to understand that the service desk is currently under pressure, they're showing a warning state, or that there's a problem, maybe there are just too many tickets in the queue or not enough agents online, maybe your wait time on chat is too high. All of these things can be surfaced really easily with our health model. You can also click share at any point and choose who to share this dashboard with. Let's say anyone in my organization. When I provide this link to someone, they'll have to log in. Even if they're not a Squared Up user, we'll still try to authenticate them to make sure that they should have access. Or you can choose anyone with the link. This will give you a public URL that you could put into a wallboard, you maybe embed into a SharePoint site, or even share with a customer. So sharing and monitoring are some key features on top of our super easy dashboard designer. But try it out. It's a very interesting plugin. Being able to drill into your agents, being able to drill in by tag, being able to drill out to Zendesk is all really, really useful. And the learning curve in Squared Up is so much smaller than trying to build these same dashboards in Zendesk. Try it out. If you have any issues, contact our support team. Thanks.